coast and streaming live in HD worldwide at foxbangor.com. More people choose Good Morning Maine.
Hello everyone. Today on Good Morning Maine, we'll hear about an incident in Bangor where a woman was reportedly attacked inside her home. More on that ahead.
Plus, for many Maine lobstermen, leaving the harbor is costing more than it did last year. We'll see why coming up.
Plus, the Bangor Police Department has gained a new team member. We'll meet their new furry friend ahead. Good morning and welcome to Good Morning Maine. I'm Janessa Bishop.
And I'm Craig Colson. Happy Friday, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We'll have all the day's news coming up. It's so glad it's Friday.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are feeling the same.
Yeah, for some reason, I think this week kind of was dragging on.
It's funny how they do that, too.
And then some fly right by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully everybody's workday flies by today,
yes,
so you can get to that Mother's Day weekend.
Yeah.
As far as the weather is concerned, it looks like we'll have kind of a mixture of sun and clouds over the next couple of days with a chance of passing showers. Sundays looking like scattered showers, but overall not a complete washout. Nothing that will keep you from visiting dear old mom.
Yeah, well, that's good.
Yeah.
We'll turn things over to meteorologist Devin Biggs.
And thank you very much, Craig and Janessa. Happy Friday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Clifton General Store. Start your morning right at Clifton General Store. Fresh coffee and hot breakfast. Family owned and operated. All righty, here we go. No advisories in effect, so we're looking pretty good there. And we will be watching for a few showers and some rumbles of thunder possible today with a surface boundary that will be developing. As we do zoom things out, we can see that surface boundary developing. Temperatures warming up a bit today, but either way, as we do move forward, we will be watching for things developing, some clouds moving through today as well. Notice that development with the precipitation. Later on tonight, notice things do clear out. But again, as we do check out the winds picking up a bit in the gusty winds department to about 15 to 20 miles per hour. The winds backing off later on tonight. And then once we head towards tomorrow, again, not too bad until the winds pick up throughout the afternoon period. So for today, here we go. Upper 50s, mostly cloudy. There is a chance for showers and thunderstorms with that west wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Alrighty, your hourly forecast moving forward. Again, we got clouds today, then afternoon chances for showers and some thunderstorms. Again, temperatures in the 50s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Janessa.
Thank you, Devin. We'll see you a little later on. Well, first this morning, a Waldo County teen who was charged in connection with the murder of paddleboarder Sunshine Stewart last summer was in court on Thursday after recently being found competent to stand trial. Devin Young appeared via Zoom in a Rockland courtroom as lawyers from both sides addressed multiple procedural matters. The state is asking for a bind-over mental health evaluation, which is when an evaluation is done in connection with the potential for a case to be transferred from juvenile court to adult court. That motion was approved and the evaluation will take place. It is likely that the defense will order their own evaluation as well. As a result of the proceedings, we know that the hearing to actually determine whether the case moves to adult court is months away, possibly in September. That decision is pivotal to the case and what Mr. Young is facing legally.
Well, officials in Lewiston are investigating a shooting that injured a teenage boy. Details are limited, but according to the Lewiston Police Department, crews responded around 4:30 p.m. to an incident at 4 Avon Street yesterday. They say they heard reports of screaming and multiple gunshots in the area. Police also say witnesses reported seeing several teenagers fleeing the scene. A 14-year-old boy was found suffering from a gunshot wound to his leg. He is now in stable condition at Central Maine Medical Center. Police have also detained several teens and recovered 3 firearms, and they say the investigation remains active.
Meanwhile, a scary scene in Bangor on Wednesday night after a woman allegedly was attacked inside her home. 2 men are now facing charges. Bangor police say it was a little after 6:30 on Wednesday night when they learned that 2 men had entered the victim's home at Holiday Park Estates, a mobile home community off of Essex Street. They say that 46-year-old Michael Clark of Columbus, Ohio, and Dovin Campbell of Michigan assaulted the woman, threatened her, and then locked her in a bathroom. The woman was able to escape, and that's when police were called. We're told some nearby residents in the trailer park were told to evacuate while police moved in to make the arrest. Clark and Campbell are now charged with kidnapping, assault, and criminal threatening with a dangerous weapon.
For the first time, Senator Susan Collins is speaking about a minor health condition she has lived with for decades that some may have noticed, but that she hadn't discussed until now. On occasion, Senator Collins has exhibited a slight shake that at times affected her voice or body. Collins says that is due to a condition that she has and has had during the entirety of her service in Congress. It's called a benign essential tremor. Collins says the condition affects about 1 in 20 people over the age of 40, but it no way affects her ability to do the job as senator. In a statement emailed to our station, she said in part, quote, "The tremor is occasionally inconvenient and sometimes the subject of cruel comments online, but it does not hinder my ability to work, and as I said, is something that I have lived with for decades."
Well, many of us have felt pain at the pump lately as gas prices have been on the rise, but one gas station chain helped folks save some money while filling up. It's something Circle K calls Fuel Day, an opportunity for folks Thursday evening from 4 to 7 p.m. to save 40 cents per gallon at any Circle K gas station. The Audlin Road location in Bangor was bustling with people, filling the parking lot, long lines with vehicles and from U-Hauls to 18-wheelers to sports cars and sedans. Circle K is also going to donate 10% of profits from that event to the Children of Fallen Patriots Foundation in honor of Memorial Day.
A nice thing to do. Well, with summer right around the corner, our Alex Schley tells us how rising prices could impact the Maine lobster industry as well.
For many Maine lobstermen, just leaving the harbor this summer is costing more than it did a year ago. From fuel to bait and traps, expenses are going up.
But yeah, it will affect everybody because it's expensive, no doubt about it.
Carter says the last time he filled his 200-gallon tank, diesel cost him about $4.60 a gallon.
I'm only hauling very close to the shore right now, so I'm only hauling like 50 gallons a day.
Carter says the cost of bait has also remained high after last summer's spike.
I guess it's about the same this year so far as it was last year, and it was up last year, so I don't see it going down.
However, Carter says the price they get per pound likely won't reflect that.
Canada has most of the bigger buyers, so they kind of control our price a lot of the time. It's really tough because they're opening seasons right now, so it depends on what the price is and how good they do, whether or not we get a better price.
Meaning in an industry with already thin margins, lobstermen say this year they're expecting to feel the squeeze. Still, despite rising costs and uncertainty, they say work doesn't stop.
You got to go. Either way, you have to go to work, so just make a little less.
In Northeast Harbor, Alex Schley for ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Well, in other news this morning, Elver season is supposed to be a lucrative fishery that over the years has seen prices per pound over $2,000. This year's catch is seeing record lows. So far this season, dealers reported buying a total of roughly 5,900 pounds, a little over half the total quota for this year's fishery. And the average price per pound is only around $308. This data is preliminary. While $308 per pound is not the lowest price in the history of the fishery, it is the lowest since 2011. In 2018, Elvers fetched a little over $2,000 per pound, and in 2023 it was still over $2,000 per pound, and just last year, Elver fisheries saw $891 per pound.
Pretty good payday.
Yes.
Well, in other news, Bangor Police Department has welcomed a new member to their team, one with a real nose for explosives. K9 Tom joined the department recently alongside his handler, Officer Chris Bartlett. The two completed a rigorous 12-week course down in San Antonio, Texas, to learn the ins and outs of detecting explosives. The two will team up at the Bangor International Airport to help keep everyone safe.
He's a great dog. He's a German short-haired pointer. He'll be 2 years old tomorrow, May 1st. Very well-mannered, unbelievable nose.
Well, Bartlett said the training was intense and very thorough. A very warm welcome to Officer Bartlett, and happy belated birthday to K9 Tom as well.
So cute.
What a beautiful dog.
Yeah, it is. Well, the time now is 6:09. Coming up next on Good Morning Maine, local gardens and plant nurseries are preparing for Mother's Day.
We'll have the story coming up, but first another check of that forecast. A mix of sun and clouds today, mostly cloudy with just a chance of thunderstorms. Highs around 57 degrees. Mostly clear tonight, with lows dropping down to the mid-30s. Tomorrow we'll see increasing clouds as the day rolls along, maybe some rain showers. Highs around 61. We'll be right back.
I was barricaded at the Capitol on January 6th. I saw it firsthand. I'm Jordan Wood. We can't go back to a broken system. I can't stand idly by as Trump rips away healthcare. ICE is terrorizing our streets, and billionaires buy elections. I spent my career defending democracy from election deniers and fighting corporate PACs. We need to take on Trump, beat Paul LePage, and finally deliver Medicare for all. I'm Jordan Wood. I approve this message.
When you work in disaster services, the phone rings at all hours. Knobscott Cleaning, can I help you? People appreciate hearing a real voice on the other end. Since 1976, that personal touch has set us apart. When disaster strikes, you just want your life back to normal. You want a reputable company, someone you can trust. We take care of things and give you peace of mind. I'm Jason Sear, owner of Penobscot Cleaning Services. 24/7, we're here for you.
When you combine a fast-paced word game,
4 of them make $1.
Hoarders, hosted by Leah Remini.
What is swing? Did you just say what is?
Yes.
You just realized you're not on Jeopardy. Okay.
You've got a recipe for fun.
I got a few dances, Leah. I like to do this guy here. At weddings, I kill it.
You do not kill nothing with that.
People Puzzler.
Weekdays at 10 on ABC 7.
Welcome back, everyone. Heart of Maine United Way is highlighting a major food drive slated to take place this coming Saturday. They are partnering with the National Association of Letter Carriers on their Stamp Out Hunger food drive. Letter carriers, along with volunteers, collect non-perishable food donations that folks set out by their mailboxes. It is a national effort and the largest one-day food collection event in America.
Last year in the Bangor area, we collected over 13,000 pounds of food, and that made more than 10,000 meals for needy people in the Bangor area. Especially where prices are increasing everywhere and more families are struggling to put food on the table. Every little bit helps.
Well, again, they're asking for non-perishable food items like canned goods and boxes of pasta. Just put out the donations by your mailbox tomorrow morning. The food will then be distributed to local food banks.
Well, in honor of our nation's 250th anniversary, Friends of Fort Knox will be hosting a number of historical education events. The fort was built in 1884, so it's a Civil War era fort, which makes it the perfect backdrop for the School of the Soldier events, which shows participants what life of a Civil War soldier was like with live reenactors. That kicks off this weekend. In July, there will be a Civil War encampments with the 6th Maine Regiment that include cannon firing and living history shows.
The fort is static, right? How many bricks are in this? How much stone does that weigh? How much does this cannonball weigh? That's only for a few that like that kind of stuff. It's the reenactors, the human element that kind of put it into perspective.
Despite being a Civil War era fort, the Friends of Fort Knox will also be hosting multiple eras, including the medieval era. An educational demonstration about living in that era also happens in July. There's even a Harry Potter-style wizarding and witching event in October. You can go to their Facebook page to find out some more information. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, you can also tune in during the next hour on Fox 22.
That's
and
right.
Dean Martin will actually be joining us to talk about the upcoming season. And they have the Ghost Port celebration. I mean, all kinds of things over the season ahead.
Different, unique, fun things.
Yeah.
Well, the time now is 6:14. After the break, the CDC is monitoring hantavirus patients closely. We'll have more details coming up.
Plus, several tornadoes ripped through Mississippi this week. We'll hear from local officials about what's going on there as Good Morning Maine continues.
Mainly Tacos Dos is located on Main Street in Bangor, several doors down from the Maine Discovery Museum. It's a place for great food, drinks, and atmosphere. Check out our menu online. Mainly Tacos Dos, 64 Main Street, Bangor.
Skudik and Bloom, a full-service, custom-designed florist, Main Street in Winter Harbor.
We can deliver one-of-a-kind, full-color flower arrangements
by custom floral designer me, Pam.
Delivering to Ellsworth and surrounding areas for any occasion.
Please visit SkudikandBloom.com or call 844-SKUDIK.
It takes a special person to be a nurse. Thank you. Miller's Workshop in Brewer honors all nurses with 20% off scrubs and Dansko footwear through May 12th.
I got to admit, I'm pretty comfortable here. But this spot is actually reserved for a special mom. We're at it again, about to surprise one incredible mom with breakfast in bed. And this year is going to be the most incredible surprise ever.
This morning, you're invited to GMA's epic Breakfast in Bed live celebration.
This is the road where young Graham Plattner grew up in Sullivan, Maine. This is the uniform he wore after enlisting in the Marines to protect his country. This is the bay where he served as a harbor master and runs an oyster farm with his wife. This is where Graham lives now, on the very same road where he grew up, fighting for the people he knows, for the state he loves. It is and always will be Mainers first, Maine always.
I'm Graham Plattner, and I approve this message.
Residents across multiple Mississippi counties share how they survived tornadoes that ravaged the region this week. Local officials said on Thursday that several tornadoes damaged around 500 homes, uprooted trees, and injured at least 17 people. Mississippi Emergency Management Agency said on Wednesday evening that no deaths had been reported, but video shows the large-scale destruction of many homes, buildings, and vehicles as several southern Mississippi residents survey the damage, picking through the debris that the storm left behind.
When I heard that roar, when I heard that sound, I told my daughter, let's get in the closet, and I'm glad we did, because that is the only thing that's did not cave in 100%.
I was going to wait it out. I mean, this is the second time I've been around a tornado, but, you know, up here, thank God a lot of lives were spared.
Governor Tate Reeves said on Thursday that the state's emergency management agency was coordinating response efforts and urged everyone to pray for Mississippi.
Boy,
wow.
Poor people.
That drone footage is wild.
Yeah. Oh.
Very
no,
sad. Well, the time now is 6:17. Let's get a full look at our weather forecast with meteorologist Stevin Biggs.
Alrighty, Craig and Janessa, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Clifton General Store. Start your morning right at Clifton General Store. Fresh coffee and hot breakfast. Family owned and operated. Alrighty, here we go. Wave heights are not too bad. Again, we have no advisories in effect along the coast or even on land for that matter. Wave heights at around 2 feet according to the buoys. The contour is not too bad either. You have to go further out towards sea for any active surf. That's around 5 to even 7 feet. So again, we're looking good along the coast for us. Meanwhile, on land, again, looking pretty quiet, just some clouds developing. We have a surface boundary right nearby. We can see a little bit of precipitation with that. We'll have some developing for us today as we watch for some scattered showers and a few rumbles of thunder possible today as temperatures reach for the upper 50s. Meanwhile, as we do zoom things out, at some areas seeing a little bit of precipitation. Again, for us today, a little surface boundary is what's going to bring the precipitation for us. So futurecast moving forward, we're going to see some clouds this morning, scattered showers and some thunderstorms possible. We clear a lot of this out of here later on tonight. And then once we head towards tomorrow again, sunshine to start, then we'll watch for clouds and a few showers possible. And then once we head towards our Sunday again, not looking too bad either, just some clouds on the way. So again, with the rainfall possible, again, I'm going to run this at least through Monday. Here we are with around 1/4 to maybe 1/2 inch possible. The highest totals along the coast. Then I'll run this a little bit farther where some areas could see around 1 inch to maybe around 1 1/4 inches. And this is between now and Wednesday with lesser totals further off towards the north. New drought monitor in the eastern parts of the state seeing the most improvement, not so much further off towards the west. Western parts of the state could definitely use more rain. rainfall. So for today, upper 50s, mostly cloudy, chance for showers and thunderstorms, and that west wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Later on tonight, here we go with mid-30s under a mostly clear sky, and that west breeze at about 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow, increasing clouds, rain showers with highs in the low 60s, and that south wind at around 10 to 25 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast for your Sunday, Mother's Day. Rain chances with highs in the low 60s with mid-50s coming up for your Monday. The rain showers continue. Rain chances again for your Tuesday. There it is right there with highs in the mid-50s again.
Carpets looking tired, stained, or just plain dirty? It's time to call the pros. At C&R Carpet Cleaning, we use deep steam technology to remove dirt, odors, pet hair, and allergens fast. Fresh, clean carpets, healthier home. That's the C&R promise. Visit our Facebook page for a free estimate or call us today, 631-7380. Step into clean with C&R Carpet Cleaning.
You know, I've been a pretty colorblind kind of buyer. I'm starting to get some loyalty with John Deere, and a lot of that's because of United and because of the idea that they have the service that I need and the parts on hand that I need. I'm all about value. I think that, you know, we finally got a dealer that wants to try to be competitive with value.
Brought to you by United Ag and Turf, your local John Deere dealer.
Diabetes isn't a death sentence, but it is absolutely a life sentence, and you have to figure out how you're going to keep your kid alive. So when you find somebody from the government that's on your side, and it happens to be Susan Collins at the same time, that was just magnificent. After the meeting in Portland for my wife and son, my wife came back. She was 10 feet tall. She'd felt seen, she felt heard, and she felt like we had a powerful advocate on our side. No, it was a big step towards healing.
Thank you, Senator Collins.
Please continue delivering for T1 families.
Pat's Pizza in Holden is not just a restaurant that serves delicious food and pizza. They also have an adjacent party and event room. Consider having your birthday or office party at Pat's Pizza. They have indoor golf, a pro shop, and a beautiful 9-hole golf course open for the season. Pat's Pizza, Holden.
The fun never stops at Wheel.
You got it! It's a car! You're a millionaire!
Weekdays at 7 on ABC 7.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
The cruise ship hit with a hantavirus outbreak with about 150 people on board is steaming toward the Canary Islands. So far, 3 people have died and 9 others have confirmed or suspected cases. The CDC has now classified this outbreak, but health officials are facing criticism. ABC's Lionel Moyes has more.
This morning, sources say the CDC has classified the hantavirus outbreak as a level 3 emergency response, meaning the risk to the general public remains low, but is being closely monitored.
This is obviously a deadly virus, 30–40% mortality rate. It can take a while for symptoms to show up. So we have to be really focused on making sure that if anybody starts developing symptoms, that they get care immediately.
The CDC's move comes as some experts criticize the agency for not acting sooner. President Trump giving this update after being briefed.
We have a lot of people, a lot of great people studying it. It should be fine. We hope.
Health officials are tracking dozens of passengers who left the cruise ship April 24th, nearly 2 weeks after the first passenger died on board. About 30 people from around the world, including here in the U.S., returned home before contact tracing began. People in at least 5 states, from California to Virginia, are being monitored, and so far no symptoms have been reported. A passenger still on the ship told us no one currently has any Hanta-related symptoms, and we hope it continues this way, adding people are taking the situation calmly. The ship is set to arrive in Spain's Canary Islands Sunday. Many locals are protesting the ship's arrival, fearing a repeat of COVID-19.
This virus doesn't spread that easily. I think if we do a good job of tracking down everybody who left the cruise ship, monitoring them, I actually think we're going to be able to bring this to a close, and we're not going to see widespread infections.
Spanish authorities say precautions will be taken to prevent contact between the passengers and locals. The U.S. government also says it is prepared to send a plane for American passengers. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
Now to the war in Iran and record oil company profits as prices at the pump rise. All this amid new tensions in the Strait of Hormuz. ABC's Perry Russum with more.
President Trump last night confirmed the U.S. and Iran have exchanged fire in the Strait of Hormuz.
They trifled with us today. We blew them away. They trifled. I call that a trifle.
Central Command says it was self-defense after Iranian missiles, drones, and small boats attacked 3 American destroyers. Trump says the fragile ceasefire remains in effect, but efforts to restart peace talks appear to have stalled, with a major sticking point being Iran's nuclear material. The Washington Post reports U.S. intelligence believes Iran could outlast the U.S. naval blockade of Iranian ports for months, potentially giving Iran more leverage in the ongoing standoff. Meanwhile, here at home,
it's very disheartening.
More signs of the economic toll of the war, both good and bad. Good for the oil companies reaping profits off high gas prices. Shell now reporting a nearly $7 billion profit last quarter. One executive saying the volatility has created opportunities. It's not just regular gas fueling pain at the pump. Diesel prices, watched so closely by truckers and farmers, are spiking another 60 cents per gallon in parts of the Midwest because of refinery issues in the region. The impact? Higher prices across the economy, forcing consumers to cut back. Whirlpool reports demand for major appliances is down and says because of the war, it will soon need to raise prices.
This level of industry decline is similar to what we have observed during the global financial crisis and even higher than during other recessionary periods.
Kraft Heinz, which sells everything from mac and cheese to cream cheese, says consumers are literally running out of money at the end of the month. We're seeing negative cash flows in the lower income brackets where they're dipping into savings. Perry Russum, ABC News, New York.
Well, now to a developing story. Schools and colleges across the country falling victim to a major cyber attack. Sophie Flay with that story.
This morning, a hacking group has claimed responsibility for shutting down Canvas. That's a platform used by more than half the colleges and universities in the country, as well as grade schools, for coursework in communication.
I use Canvas for all my assignments. I think everything these days is all on Canvas.
The hacking group Shiny Hunters posting a ransom letter claiming it's obtained access to data from more than 275 million people across nearly 9,000 schools. Several universities acknowledging the breach. Harvard's Canvas site displaying this image. Penn State now canceling some final exams. The University of Illinois postponing assignments and finals.
It's kind of scary to think about how close we are to the finish line, really, and having to worry about our information getting leaked, about our classes being delayed.
Shiny Hunters is threatening to release the data May 12th unless it's paid an unspecified ransom. It claims it has several billions of private messages among students and teachers. The parent company of Canvas says the hackers access student names, emails, ID numbers, and messages, but not their passwords, birthdays, or financial information.
I'm scared to use anything on the internet right now.
Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
Well, this morning, the nationwide race to redraw congressional maps for partisan advantage ahead of the midterm elections has shifted into high gear. Tennessee has become the latest state to approve a redistricting plan. Republicans voting to carve up the state's only majority black district, the only district in the state held by Democrats. The move sparking protests and the NAACP already suing to stop it. Louisiana and Alabama are also taking steps toward that redistricting, and blue states too, including Virginia and California. Critics argue this gerrymandering will only make our national politics even more polarized. Well, coming up on the second half of the newscast, goats are helping fight fires and are also being used for fire prevention at one department.
Goats? Firefighting goats?
Yeah, you'll see. It's pretty cool.
Can't wait for that. All right, that's coming up on Good Morning Maine.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
It's Costa's Restaurant and Bar.
It's Costa's Restaurant and Bar.
Costa's.
Costa's.
No matter how you say it, you're going to love it. We offer a huge selection of homemade Greek, American, and Italian dishes that you can enjoy in our front dining room. Or take a seat at the bar. With our Dine for $29 special, get an appetizer, 2 meals, and a dessert, all for just $29.99. And don't forget our event space has plenty of room to accommodate your party.
It's Costa's.
Costa's.
A delicious experience that doesn't cost a lot.
Do you take propane tank?
Anything goes.
How about cardboard?
Anything goes.
How about old rug?
Yeah, anything goes.
So this too?
Furniture removal, basements, garages, attics, hoarder houses. It doesn't matter here at Anything Goes Junk Removal. Anything goes. Well, almost anything.
Davis Brothers Furniture is expanding. At Davis Brothers, we've always strived to stand out from the rest, and we are now proud to offer flooring for your home, featuring both carpeting and luxury vinyl flooring. We even have an installer in-house with over 30 years of experience. Come see the reason people have been traveling from all over the state and beyond to Davis Brothers Furniture in Guilford for decades. Davis Brothers Furniture, deliberately different, delivering statewide.
Paramount Paving, Maine's go-to for all your paving and seal coating. Paramount Paving offers commercial and residential paving and seal coating services throughout eastern and central Maine. Give us a call for a free estimate today. Paramount Paving. When it comes to paving, we are Paramount.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Welcome back, everyone. Today is Friday, April 8th, 2026, and it is also Child Care Provider Day.
This is a day to celebrate and raise awareness about the importance of good child care and the people who work in this field. In today's busy world, many families leave their children in the care of others so they can make a living. Child care providers not only keep children safe and fed, but they also teach them important skills that contribute to a child's healthy development.
They deserve a big pat on the back today.
Absolutely. A lot of people rely on them.
Yeah. All right, let's get to history. It was on this day back in 1877. The first Westminster Dog Show took place after it was started by a group of hunters. Back then they had, now they have fancy prizes. Back then they would give things like pistols and whatever, because it was a bunch of dudes.
Like hunting dogs
hunting
too, probably.
Dogs.
Yeah,
that's
that's pretty cool.
hunting dogs. In 1886, the first serving of Coca-Cola was sold at a pharmacy down in Atlanta, Georgia. The original formula contained cocaine, which was fully removed from the beverage by 1929. It sold slowly at first, about 9 glasses a day, but it soon became the pick-me-up of choice.
Pick-me-up indeed.
I wonder why.
Yeah.
Once people realized they had cocaine in it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh my
Imagine getting that with your Happy Meal.
No.
All right. And in 1945, President Harry S. Truman announced in a radio address that Nazi Germany had surrendered. He said the flag of freedom flies all over Europe on VE Day.
And in 1973, members of the American Indian movement who had occupied the South Dakota hamlet of Wounded Knee surrendered to federal authorities after 10 weeks of occupation. In 1978, David Berkowitz pleaded guilty in a New York courtroom to murder and other charges. He was the so-called Son of Sam killer who terrorized New York City with a series of killings and led police on one of the city's biggest manhunts ever. Berkowitz had killed 6 people and injured 11 before he was finally captured. And in 1984, the Soviet Union announced a boycott of the Summer Olympics in Los Angeles.
All right, for birthdays today, singer Enrique Iglesias turns 51. He was kind of like the Harry Styles of his time. You might not know him.
No, I think his music was still pretty popular in the early 2000s, wasn't it? Yeah.
It wasn't too long ago.
Yeah.
Excuse me, he's 51. Actress Melissa Gilbert turned 62. She was on Little House on the Prairie. And naturalist David Attenborough is 100 years old today.
The big 100.
We've been talking about him this morning.
We have.
We just love his work and all the documentaries he's done.
Yeah, Planet Earth.
Yeah.
That was my favorite.
He's lived to be 100.
Absolutely.
So, and happy birthday to you also, if your birthday is today.
Well, moving on now, Mother's Day is this Sunday, and flowers are a go-to gift. There's a nursery in Eddington whose new owners are hard at work making sure there's something for everyone.
As our Doug Banks explains, it's not about what kind of flowers you get, it's about what they represent.
Life is in bloom at Rideout Gardens in Eddington as they prepare for Mother's Day.
It's really the Super Bowl for nursery businesses. Mother's Day is what nursery businesses prepare for.
It's a welcome change of pace during a gray-ridden spring.
Very gray, very wet, but that's living in Maine, right?
Growing alongside tomorrow's colors are Chris Glick and his wife, the new co-owners of Rideout Gardens.
I work in cybersecurity. Any other free hour I have taking care of plants. The previous owners, Mike and Diane, are still very active in helping us. This is our first year, so we have 3 greenhouses open. We've got 1 vegetable greenhouse and then 2 flower greenhouses.
Which makes it easy on those seeking variety or specificity.
I love fire tails.
I come here with the thoughts of teaching my children about how plants grow and vegetables grow and where our food comes from.
As time ticks towards Sunday, flowers are not fleeting beauty, but rather a moment encapsulating a lifetime.
Whether it's your spouse or your own mother, it shows that love is long-term, much more long-lived than flowers in a vase.
In Eddington,
it's a good reflection.
Doug Banks.
And of course, gives that pop of color.
ABC 7 and Fox 22 News.
Good for them. We wish them the best of luck as they kick off that business there.
Yeah, I really need to stop by and get some nice hanging baskets or something.
Yeah, I need to do something too. I need to get some plants in the ground.
Me too.
It's about that time. I've got some seeds and a few raised beds going, but I've just been putting off actual doing the work.
Well, Rideouts clearly has all you need.
Maybe this weekend.
Well, now let's turn things right back over to meteorologist Devin Biggs.
And thank you very much, Craig and Janessa. Happy Friday. Your first weather forecast brought to you by Clifton General Store. Start your morning right at Clifton General Store. Fresh coffee and hot breakfast. Family owned and operated. All righty, here we go. No advisories in effect, so we're looking pretty good there. And we will be watching for a few showers and some rumbles of thunder possible today with a surface boundary that will be developing. As we do zoom things out, we can see that surface boundary developing. Temperatures warming up a bit today, but either way, as we do move forward, we will be watching for things developing, some clouds moving through today as well. Notice that development with the precipitation. Later on tonight, notice things do clear out. But again, as we do check out the winds picking up a bit in the gusty winds department to about 15 to 20 miles per hour. The winds backing off later on tonight. And then once we head towards tomorrow, again, not too bad until the winds pick up throughout the afternoon period. So for today, here we go. Upper 50s, mostly cloudy. There is a chance for showers and thunderstorms with that west wind getting up to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Alrighty, your hourly forecast moving forward. Again, we got clouds today, then afternoon chances for showers and some thunderstorms. Again, temperatures in the 50s. Your full 5-day forecast is coming up. Craig and Janessa.
Thank you, Devin. Now for the latest on what's happening in Hollywood.
Here's ABC's Melissa Adon.
It's your show. It's your creative vision. This is going to blow people's minds.
Billie Eilish, Hit Me Hard and Soft, the tour, live in 3D, a concert film the Grammy-winning star co-directed with James Cameron, hits theaters Friday. Eilish told ABC News she's happy to have this permanent record of her tour for both her fans and for herself.
I just feel really grateful that it's going to exist forever, and I'll get to watch this show and this tour that I loved so much and made so many memories with them forever, you know?
She's a Disney legend and a Grammy winner, and now Miley Cyrus is getting her own star on Hollywood Boulevard. The ceremony will stream live at walkoffame.com on May 22nd.
James, you have a real gift for filmmaking.
The Minions have been part of Hollywood since the first Despicable Me movie back in 2010. Now in the new trailer for Minions and Monsters, the latest installment in the franchise, we see how the yellow creatures first came to Hollywood and how they nearly destroyed it. The movie's out July 1st.
And singer Enrique Iglesias is 51 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Still to come here this morning, Jack Webb with sports.
Don't go away.
What does Graham Plattner think of rural Mainers? He calls them stupid and racist. And Plattner called some Maine lobstermen drug-addicted pieces of shit. That's the real Graham Plattner. Pine Tree Results Pack is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Are you in need of remodeling your bathroom? Want to convert your tub into a safe walk-in shower? Call the experts at Bangor Bathrooms by Design now. They offer complete bathroom remodels, and from start to finish, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Call them now and save thousands. 659-6457. Enjoy that brand new bathroom you've always wanted from Bangor Bathrooms by Design. Transforming bathrooms, elevating lives.
This spring, invest in your nest with the County Federal Credit Union. Your home has grown in value season after season. With the county's 1010 Home Equity Line of Credit, you can borrow up to your credit limit over 10 years with interest-only payments over those 10 years. 1010. And then you can stop and smell the roses, soak up the sun, and invest in your nest. The 1010 Home Equity Line of Credit, the County Federal Credit Union, countyfcu.org.
Graham Plattner blames Maine's women for getting raped because he says they get up drunk. And Plattner bragged about having a Nazi tattoo on his chest. That's the real Graham Plattner. Pine Tree Results Pack is responsible for the content of this advertising.
ABC 7 and Fox 22's Jack Webb named Maine's Sportscaster of the Year by the National Sports Media Association.
Welcome back in, folks. We'll start on the hardwood where UMaine basketball scored an exciting commitment on Wednesday.
I'm just ready to work.
Wednesday was an exciting day in the Maine basketball community as New Gloucester native and former Montverde Academy and Newman School guard Caden Bedard announced on his Instagram he's decided to return home and play his college basketball at the University of Maine.
You know, they've always stayed in touch. They've come to a bunch of games, and I felt a lot of love from, you know, Mark Wood and all the others, the staff and coaching. And, you know, I thought it would be a great fit basketball wise. You know, my dad went there. And I have one of my best friends, Ace, up there too as well. So, you know, it seemed like the best fit all around.
Yes, he's talking about household name and current Maine freshman Ace Flagg. Caden has played hoops with Ace and Cooper for as long as he can remember, as Bedard was a key member of the Maine United team that made waves in the AAU circuit in 2022 and 23. It sounds like Ace being in Orono certainly helped the decision.
It did play a pretty big piece. You know, I think our chemistry, we've always had, you know, a special connection on the court. And, you know, as one of my best friends growing up, I've known him for as long as I can pretty much remember.
Some Maine fans are wondering how I've got this far and not mentioned Caden's dad, Andy, the Maine Basketball Hall of Fame guard and former Black Bear star. But that's what Andy wanted, for his son's decision to be exactly that, his decision.
He did a good job of kind of staying out of it. You know, he didn't want me to go there just because, you know, he was a big name there. He wanted me to be happy with my decision. And, you know, he gave me his input on certain things when I asked. And obviously his legacy and me wanting to continue that legacy plays a little bit of a piece of it. But, you know, he wasn't ever like pushing like, oh, you have to. Like, he was good and supportive and wanted me to make the best decision for me.
Caden tore his ACL last summer, which can be a nightmare for a player trying to get recruited. Well, now he's back on the court doing drills and is thankful to have a home in Orono.
Coming off this injury, I was like questioning, you know, am I going to be able to play at the Division I level, or am I going to have to just go to school for academics? I'm just super thankful for the whole entire staff for giving me a chance. It's a big weight off my shoulders.
Let's stay in the area and turn our attention to Orono High School softball, where the Red Riots hosted the Central Red Devils. The sun poking in and out up in Orono for this one. Let's start in the third with Central to play. Elizabeth Lugden gets a base hit. She'd get to third base, and a nice hit from Maddie Cox sends her home. Now here's a base hit from Allie Spark. That goes into the outfield and allows Cox to make it all the way home, and it's 2-0 Red Devils with two more Red Riots on base. Orono's Jillian Severance is going to get the closing strikeout, and then it's the fourth. She doesn't allow a run, strikes out all three to end the frame. Orono's turn at the plate. Aria Porter with the bunt. Central misses the throw to first, and Porter gets to third. She would score, but this hit by Maddie Frost in the fifth sends Jordan Curtis home and ups the score. Central goes on to win 4-1. Now time to check in with the Red Sox, who are coming off a series sweep against the Detroit Tigers. In what has been a disappointing start to the season, Boston entered the week with a 13-21 record, but they come away with 3 big wins over the Detroit Tigers, who play second in the American League Central currently. This marks the first time this season the Sox have swept a series. The series started with a 5-4 win on Monday, highlighted by a Jarren Duran home run. The Sox then won in dominant fashion on Tuesday and Wednesday with 10-3 and 4-0 victories. Red Sox interim manager Chad Tracy says the trip out to the Motor City was a successful one, and he's happy to see how his team's playing all around.
It's been a good week. The series was good. We did a lot of things right. We played great defensively. We ran the bases extremely well. We got the clutch hits that have been missing. We pitched extremely well. So it was a really good short trip.
Sox also placed young star outfielder Roman Anthony on the injured list with a wrist injury. Chad Tracy says that Roman has no setbacks, but that they couldn't justify playing a man down on the roster until he returned. Roman should be back for the series against the Braves in Atlanta next Friday. We've still got playoff hockey in Maine as the Maine Mariners are headed to Wheeling, West Virginia for round 2 of the Kelly Cup playoffs. The team boarding several shuttle buses earlier on Thursday before leaving from the Jetport. The Mariners scoring a first-round TKO over Adirondack Wednesday night in a Game 7 thriller, coming back to beat the Thunder 3-1. It was the team's first ever playoff series win in a series that had it all.
We had a feeling it was going to go the distance. I mean, you look at the rivalry all season, and I mean, they played their hearts out, and it's that's playoff hockey right there. And I think we learned a lot, and we grew a lot as a group heading into Wheeling here.
The rivalry we built with those guys, I think it was kind of destined to go all the way, and we just stuck to what we do best, and just shows what kind of character we got in the room and the brotherhood we built in there to just stick with it and give our best.
Folks, that's all the time we have for sports. I like that block. I thought we got you a lot of information there. We'll be right back after the break.
It doesn't matter how big or small my question might be. I know that there's going to be somebody there that can help guide me in the right direction. You're not just an account number to them. You're a person, and it feels like that. I'm a member.
Who has the best kept secret in Penobscot County?
We do!
Welcome to Maple Lane Farms, a 5th-generation family farm that's committed to providing you with the best quality products. Our farm-raised local and sustainable meat is flash frozen to lock in the freshness and natural flavors. Experience the top-notch quality of our meat that's naturally raised without any antibiotics or hormones. Get the best of both worlds, quality and affordability. Try Maple Lane Farms today, the candy store for the carnivore.
If you've been injured in a motorcycle wreck, call 855-IRON-LAW today. Iron Horse Motorcycle Lawyers. We protect our own.
You come to a credit union to work because you actually like helping people.
You get to be a part of really life-changing moments.
It builds a really rewarding professional career.
And that's why I like credit unions.
Welcome back, everyone. In Washington State, the greatest of all time, GOAT for short, could really mean goats when it comes to animals helping out with chores by eating up and keeping down local vegetation that could burn fast in fires.
Fox's Taylor Winkle tells us about some Fire Station 96 goats helping local firefighters save the time that they may need for fighting fires.
They have an official title,
fuel mitigation specialist,
but they don't look like your typical firefighter.
You like my mustache?
And you don't want them to come with you out on a call.
Engine 91. If they were to find themselves at an emergency, no snacks would be safe.
They could also use a lesson in professionalism. Regardless, these kids play an important role.
Fire Station 96 is called the Goat House.
Four-legged lawnmowers look over the land and retention pond at this Central Pierce Fire and Rescue Station, so their vegetation doesn't fuel the risk of fire. And they keep firefighters from spending their downtime on weed whackers.
Because the goats work for snacks and all the vegetation that's available here, it does save the taxpayers money because our crews are able to focus on training and responding to calls.
Taxes don't fund the goats either. Any expenses they have are paid internally through their own Goat Fund Me account, contributed to by employees. They're really stubborn about doing a good job.
Much like our goats are doing here in our field. We want to hardscape and remove any fuels that can carry fire that come in contact with the buildings.
This year's Central Pierce Fire and Rescue hopes their living lawnmowers can really drive the message home for people.
We're in a heightened level of awareness based on our snowpack and precipitation over the winter. But until fire season really gets started, we won't know how severe it will be.
Reporting in Graham,
They're cool. They're goats.
Taylor Winkle, Fox 13 News.
That's great. They're doing more and more of that. I see videos online where the people will come in with a group of goats and they'll clear out a field in no time, that kind of thing.
I think that's smart.
Yeah. They do it on main islands too. There was a place down in Stonington where during the summer you'd go by and all of a sudden a couple of goats would poke their head up and they put them on the islands just to keep the vegetation down.
Well, I think that makes sense.
And it has nothing to do with Cinco de Mayo.
No.
You know, I'm not sure what that was.
No,
but
we'll disregard that for now.
Yeah.
Well, now here's meteorologist Devin Biggs with our full weather forecast.
Well, the goats got free food for Cinco. Yeah.
Alrighty, Craig and Janessa, thank you very much. Your full weather forecast brought to you by Clifton General Store. Start your morning right at Clifton General Store. Fresh coffee and hot breakfast. Family owned and operated. Alrighty, here we go. Wave heights are not too bad. Again, we have no advisories in effect along the coast or even on land for that matter. Wave heights at around 2 feet according to the buoys. The contour is not too bad either. You have to go further out towards sea for any active surf. That's around 5 to even 7 feet. So again, we're looking good along the coast for us. Meanwhile, on land, again, looking pretty quiet, just some clouds developing. We have a surface boundary right nearby. We can see a little bit of precipitation with that. We'll have some developing for us today as we watch for some scattered showers and a few rumbles of thunder possible today as temperatures reach for the upper 50s. Meanwhile, as we do zoom things out, at some areas seeing a little bit of precipitation. Again, for us today, a little surface boundary is what's going to bring the precipitation for us. So futurecast moving forward, we're going to see some clouds this morning, scattered showers and some thunderstorms possible. We clear a lot of this out of here later on tonight. And then once we head towards tomorrow again, sunshine to start, then we'll watch for clouds and a few showers possible. And then once we head towards our Sunday again, not looking too bad either, just some clouds on the way. So again, with the rainfall possible, again, I'm going to run this at least through Monday. Here we are with around 1/4 to maybe 1/2 inch possible. The highest totals along the coast. Then I'll run this a little bit farther where some areas could see around 1 inch to maybe around 1.25 inches. And this is between now and Wednesday with lesser totals further off towards the north. New drought monitor in the eastern parts of the state seeing the most improvement, not so much further off towards the west. Western parts of the state could definitely use more rainfall. So for today, upper 50s, mostly cloudy, chance for showers and thunderstorms, and that west wind at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Later on tonight, here we go with mid-30s under a mostly clear sky and that west breeze at about 5 miles per hour. Tomorrow, increasing clouds, rain showers with highs in the low 60s and that south wind at around 10 to 25 miles per hour. Let's check out your extended forecast for your Sunday, Mother's Day. Rain chances with highs in the low 60s with mid-50s coming up for your Monday. The rain showers continue. Rain chances again for your Tuesday. There it is right there with highs in the mid-50s again.
Skudik & Bloom, a full-service, custom-designed florist, Main Street in Winter Harbor.
We can deliver one-of-a-kind, full-color flower arrangements
by custom floral designer me, Pam.
Delivering to Ellsworth and surrounding areas for any occasion.
Please visit SkudikandBloom.com or call 844-SKUDIK.
Here at Twin City Tire and Service, you will be working with industry professionals. We have ASE certified master technicians and certified tire and lube technicians. If we need your vehicle for a duration of time, we offer a complimentary shuttle service and can even offer a loaner vehicle. Being a client at Twin City Tire and Service means that we will treat you right. This includes a 3-year, 36,000-mile warranty on mechanical repairs. We also provide you with 1 year of complimentary roadside assistance. Come see us today at Twin City Tire and Service in Brewer.
With over 30 years of experience, Patriot General Contractors knows how to get your home renovation project done right. Our certified contractors can help you build, redesign, or finish the project of your dreams. Check out Facebook page for reviews and visit patriotgeneralcontractors.com to schedule your quote today. Patriot General Contractors, redesigning your properties for the future.
When disaster strikes, who do you call? Penobscot Cleaning Services for smoke and fire damage, water and storm damage, and even nasty mold. Who do you call? Penobscot Cleaning Services for the cleanest carpets, guaranteed. Who do you call? Penobscot Cleaning Services, from cleanup to restoration and everything in between. Wow! Tell your insurance company you want Penobscot Cleaning Services. Visit our website for more info. We'll restore things to normal in no time.
Tonight,
she was a 16-year-old teenager who vanished.
2020 unravels a mystery.
It was difficult to not be emotional.
That will keep you guessing till the very end.
I have chills right now.
Tonight on ABC and stream on Disney Plus and Hulu.
SpaceX announces a major partnership with an American AI company. The aerospace company has announced that it will give Anthropic access to its massive Colossus One artificial intelligence data center. Under the deal, Anthropic will use the full computing power of SpaceX's AI's Memphis facility to boost capacity for its Claude Pro and Max AI assistants, as well as raise usage limits for subscribers. Colossus One is one of the world's largest AI data centers with more than 220,000 NVIDIA processors. And I didn't understand a word of anything that I just read.
Well, I think we'll probably be hearing a lot more about those AI data centers here to come.
Probably some people out there know what we were talking about.
I don't, but
I don't know.
Anyway, Mother's Day is on Sunday, and for those still searching for the perfect gift, we have some ideas to celebrate Mom. According to the National Retail Federation, consumers are expected to spend a record $38 billion this Mother's Day. And the most popular gifts won't come as a surprise. 75% of people plan to give flowers, and 74% will give a card. Special outings, gift cards, clothing, and jewelry are also top of the list. And while Americans will be spending billions, you don't have to break the bank. One shopping expert says to watch for sales on traditional Mother's Day favorites, but ultimately she says the best gift depends on the mom. Gifting an experience like a concert or sporting event is also a popular option, giving mom something personal that lasts beyond the holiday.
Good advice there.
Absolutely.
And sometimes just spending some time with dear old mom.
Oh, yeah.
Just spend some time with her.
It
maybe,
doesn't need to be anything too crazy.
No, you don't have to spend a lot of money.
No.
Just love.
Definitely. Well, that's all the time that we have left for this hour, but you can join us for the second hour of Good Morning Maine. That's next on Fox 22.
Thanks for being there, everyone. We hope you have a great day.
Black fly season in Maine is back again. That time of year we all know when. The state bird rises with the spring. And black fly season starts to sting. Those buggers will just about carry you away. 22 are the ones to know. Oh, deep in the woods and along the shores, black fly season rules outdoors. Tiny wings, but they track you down. There's no safe place when they're around. And at night, when you're sleeping sound, the hum of the swarm still hangs around to track the heat and the weather too. We rely on ABC 7 and Fox 22. We endure the bite for what's ahead. Warm sun and summer days instead. Maine awakens as the skies turn gray, and black fly season has its say.
Pat's Pizza in Holden is not just a restaurant that serves delicious food and pizza. They also have an adjacent party and event room. Consider having your birthday or office party at Pat's Pizza. They have indoor golf, a pro shop, and a beautiful 9-hole golf course open for the season. Pat's Pizza, Holden.
You're watching ABC 7 Bangor.
Good morning, America. Growing fears about the hantavirus outbreak, an alert about online shopping, and we are celebrating one very special mom. Breaking overnight, another suspected case as officials ramp up effort to contain the deadly hantavirus outbreak. Former passengers on that cruise ship are being tracked around the globe, including Americans. The CDC classifying this as a level 3 emergency response. What it means. This morning, we hear from one of the passengers on what life is like on that ship right now as the Canary Islands brace for its arrival. We're there live, plus former White House COVID coordinator Dr. Ashish Jha is here answering your questions.
The U.S. and Iran exchanging fire in the Strait of Hormuz. President Trump calling it a love tap. And after showing off renovations at the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool, how he responded to my question.